With search being disrupted in the manner that it is, and people, let's assume, use Google a lot lesser or any kind of search platform that is throwing up ads. And if anyone wants to build a brand, social media might exist in some form, but Google ads and the likes of that will not work. So, to be able to build a brand, you have to be able to hold attention one way or another through some form of content. And video is working right now. So, the alpha between a brand that does well and a brand that doesn't do well, content is going to be the biggest differentiator. Thoughts?
That's the premise.
Yeah.
I very much agree with that. And like for every generation, if you know how to speak whatever, the medium where content gets viewed is fluently, you can do really well. So for example, there's, that Spanish olive oil gratia, I forget what it is, that became like a $70 million plus, business in a couple of years, just because they know how to appeal to young people. Or like, are you today a hacker? Do you know how to speak X? You'll do well. Are you a young consumer founder who knows how to speak TikTok? You will do well.
Yeah.
And, in a few years, will be something else. I don't know what that it will be, but whoever knows how to play that game well, this is golden. Attention is all you need.
I think Didi's doing well at that.
Absolutely.
You're doing pretty well yourself.
Absolutely.
What are you going to pivot into with all this attention that you have?
I don't do content for, any practical purpose, which is why I've never went into things like video.
It's like saying I don't make money for any practical purpose.
No, it's not. It's not the same. It's like everyone's presumably got an education with some goal of having some job. There's other reasons to do it, but having something. But I genuinely don't think I ever did anything online to get an audience or to have money or to have anything. Otherwise, I mean, what I would tell people is like, yeah, if you want to do content just for that purpose, then there's always easier ways to do it. You do humor, you do hot topics, you do very debatable, questionable things. And I mean, some would argue I have done some of that, but not much.
I think that kind of content gives you a different kind of attention. The kind of content you're creating gives you trust, relevance in a very trust.
When I first started, one of my first kinds of things I would post about is just immigration. And the only reason I would do it is because I found myself telling all my friends the same thing over and over again. So I'm like, let me just write it down and then you can go read that. And so I don't see it as, for me at least, it was never meant to be a business. But to the statement, I mean, Nico definitely knows about this trend, but there's so many of these like 16, 17, 18-year-old kids who out of nowhere, they come up with an app.
But I think they're being brilliant. I was doing a call with Sam Altman and he told me the same thing. I was like, what should young people do? He said most of them look like they want to be influencers, but I think they have the best idea ever.
Being influencers was the best idea ever?
By creating content, because you're capturing attention. And if the attention can age, I don't mean tenure in the sense of it becomes old, but as you grow older, if your viewers grow with you in age as well, you keep their attention for a long time. Like look at Taylor Swift. It's insane, right?
Imagine.
She could soon be the richest person in the world. I wouldn't be surprised.
But then what I was going to say on the app one was it's not even them trying to be influencers. It's them actually figuring out how to do their own marketing strategy at a almost nothing cost, right? What they will do is they'll pay off other people to make on Discord to make TikTok videos and then have like some commission-based agreement. And then these apps are making millions of dollars of revenue, and they're sitting at home in their parents' garage going like, okay, well, I made all this money and I spent nothing. So I think it's not them being influencers, it's them figuring out how to tap in to the ecosystem to get distribution for the thing that they've built. Because what they identify, at least the examples I'm talking about, what they identified is all of these apps look the same. The only thing that matters is distribution. So let me go to the app store, figure out all the apps that are basically commodity, make my own, and then figure out distribution. That's my money.
Storytelling matters, right?
Storytelling matters.
Like we're all suckers for amazing stories. So whoever knows how to tell a story in a very compelling way and get a lot of attention for it because they speak the language of wherever stories get shared at that moment in time, this is super powerful.
I'll take the other side. I think there's, in the last 3 years, there's been almost too much attention on attention. While I agree content helps you grab attention and attention spans are declining, I think there's too much empty calories. Like I meet same audience.
I think
and
we look at it more from the lens of, let's say Nikunj tomorrow is starting a chocolate brand or a t-shirt brand or any kind. Most of an economy is consumption, right? 60-70% of money spent in the US is on QSR restaurants. Say you start a fast food restaurant in America. How do you find your audience if not for content?
So my push there is like there's two legs to a stool. There's too much attention on attention. Just like, can you get people in the door?
But what is your way? Let's say Nikunj tomorrow starts selling some version of McDonald's.
The best way is to have the best product. It's like
even then, how are you discovered?
Like how traditionally everything has been discovered, which is word of mouth. Like I think there is still power in that. Like, I'll give you a good example. Like, Swati's restaurant in Ahmedabad. It's in Bombay as well.
Swati Snacks, yeah.
Same food. I go there every year and eat. It's always full. And they've spent $0 in marketing forever. Even in today's day and age where there's a million restaurants, that restaurant is full every day by 5:30 p.m. or 9 p.m. And because the product is still phenomenal.
But what are the odds of that? For every Swati that succeeded, how many
I
did not?
I think that's why I said there's two legs to a stool. I think there's far too much attention on attention, especially in today's economy. Everybody wants the Twitter viral launch video, but the product sucks. And I don't think that lasts. Like you look at the churn numbers, right? I mean,
the product has to be good regardless.
No, but that is changed. Nowadays, there's so much attention on attention that people are discounting building a good product. Where they kind of Didi said, in a white labeled world where you just have to build an okay product and this distribution matters, I think that will peter out in the long run.
Won't the quality of, with increased productivity by virtue of AI, won't the quality of a product get democratized to a large extent?
I don't know. I think it's the 10% problem. The last mile problem will forever be there. This is why Jiro still builds the same sushi 80 years later and kind of continues to do it. I think I do believe this is why I'm thinking the opposite. I think there's too much attention on attention. I do think you need eyeballs, right? Like nobody comes to the restaurant and what's the point of building a restaurant? But I think the product needs to be phenomenal in this AI age. Otherwise, it's just slop. Like that's what happens. Like, when TikTok trend goes viral, 20 people copy it and 20 people copy the same app. There is no differentiation. And then you build a little bit of value. But the only compounding value is retention. Can you build a retentive product where people come back? And that only comes with quality.
Think of some products that come to mind that have done really well at mass scale today. What do you buy often that you think is a spectacular product from a differentiation lens?
Digital, physical, like
Apple?
You buy iPhones, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that because of the product or is that because of
it's compounding
attention?
Advantages, right? Like there's no attention. What does Apple spend money on?
No, they spend money on ads.
Comparatively, compared to their gross margin profile, their marketing spend is very low.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I mean, this is obviously, I think it's kind of obviously true that you need retention and you need
But that's
growth.
changing though. Last year, more than ever, I have felt this changing. Where
that you think people don't focus on
like
retentive
they look at
products?
Mr. Beast Feastables. The only reason it sells is because attention. But the product, I've had it. It's horrible. Horrible for the kids. It's horrible for
Why did you try it?
Why? Because I was just curious.
Yeah.
But again, it's two legs to the same stool. I'm just saying there's far too much attention on one end.
Yeah, I think I'm focusing more on discoverability.
Yeah.
Because you get to that point and then comes the question of retention.
Yeah, I mean, you need attention because now in a sea of the same, how do you differentiate yourself? Content will always be the differentiator, one way or the other. But I think it's going to be a revolving door if you don't focus enough on the product. The pendulum is swung on the other side, is what I'm trying to argue, where I think it can go back to like, we need both, can't have one or the other.
I'm looking at the last 5-year bucket as the bucket of performance marketing, where you gave Google money to show your product in different places and you paid for the number of clicks.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at what is the next transition from that.
Yeah, I mean, discoverability, especially like consumer, it's all TikTok because it's the only free channel left. But if you build something that grabs attention, you get a lot of attention. Everything else has become pay to play.
Should
There's
we,
no, yeah.
should we rate this content? Importance of content in building a business. Nico?
For anything that's like, consumer facing or prosumer facing, discoverability, it's a 10.
Didi?
Yeah. Without that caveat, and I would say like 8 or 9, fairly important. Not the only thing.
Yeah, it's a
Nikunj?
7. Important, but not the only thing that's needed.